As many of you know, I've been giving out tricks and tips on how to make yourself feel better. I've been trying to teach you about how I see us as a light workers. And I think that many of you don't know that it actually comes from my own experiences. I've been going through living hell since I was a kid. I had a parent that was a narcissist that then led me to attract more of them narcissistic people. And it took many, many years for me to even understand that that was a wrong thing, that that was a behavior that was not good. Parts of that behavior I took on myself, and I didn't realize that either. Because, of course, you are what you grew up thinking. If you haven't gone other perspective on things, it's really hard for you to see what's right and wrong because you live in whatever you feel is the right thing according to whatever you experienced as a kid. So I've been through that as a kid, which led me into situations of abusers, rapists, threats, heartbreaks times 100, and I was looking for that feeling of home, which for me was a narcissistic behavior because that's what I knew how to control. And I used to even be a therapist for my parents when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I started telling my parents what the other parents were thinking and tried to get them to solve their problems. I didn't manage to do that. When I was 15 years old, they split up. Bad divorce, really, really bad. And I started fleeing into alcohol, friends, boyfriends. I had actually a boyfriend for a few years. But I've always been guarded, scared of people, trying to figure out if this person is like threatening me or, And then I got into a relationship and I got a kid with a guy that was also narcissistic, that was playing me, that was cheating on me when I was pregnant, and just kept going until one day that everything just fell apart for me. And I felt like I need to do something, I need to fix this, so I left him with my child. And I got actually physically sick too at that time. So I got off work because I had no energy. I couldn't even stand up because my body just shut down, my mind shut down, and I was like, something needs to change. What is the problem? So I started questioning myself in every level there is. Why am I thinking like this? Why is this happening? Why am I attracting this kind of people? Why is this in my life? And that's where my spiritual journey began on a different level, because I've always had this ability to feel people's emotions, always had the ability to read people's mind, to be able to tell when people are honest or if they're just saying something, I could read their emotions rather than hearing their words. Because to grow up with a narcissistic parent that's been manipulating me, and I've been under threat and stress and fear my entire life, that made me like I have to have all the time 100% control on what's happening around me. So I could never relax. I was always, when I meet people, still today I have problems with that sometimes, especially when in relationships. I unconsciously trigger this person that I'm with to see where the boundary is, to see when is this person gonna turn around and threaten me or kill me. Like, that's actually what my body thinks, because my body thinks that when I've been under a lot of stress, after so long time being under this kind of stress, my body is in fight or flight mode. Let's say that it's stuck in thinking that I'm under threat all of the time. So it's locked there. I've been working through a lot of that, but it's still hard to, when I get to know people, to see what's good, because in my life I have the experience of evil, but not the goodness of people. So yeah, it's still something that I'm struggling with to understand. Not that I don't understand the bad parts, because that I understand perfectly, but the thing to not trigger or try to read the person in their evilness, if you understand what I mean. So for me now, I'm struggling with finding the people that is actually nice and that is aware and that can like be with me in that moment, because it's really hard. I'm getting emotional. Wow. Well, I'm gonna be authentic, so I'm gonna keep recording, but it's really hard to find people that wants to stay in that moment with me and understand that I'm not doing it to be mean. I'm doing it to protect myself, because I'm scared of getting in the hands of a narcissistic person again. Because freeing myself from that has been so hard. And I'm thinking that I want to be more authentic and I want to share my story. So I will give out more of my experiences and what I've been through, more in details. But I wanted to start by doing this and just for my own sake be able to start to open up, to share my reality, because it's not easy. It's not easy to feel alone in that way, and to, when I meet people and they question me, I realize that, wow, I made a mistake. I am going in my old patterns and I don't know how to not do it. I want to connect with people. I don't want to be alone. I've never ever been evil, because I know what evil is. And my thought pattern is not evil. I always want the good for people. And that's why I want to give out my content and I want to help people feel better. If you have experienced something similar to me, please write to me, because I want us to be able to connect and help each other. And I will also share more of my story. Maybe I can help somebody. That's my goal. Yeah. Let's help each other feel better.